sorry. I don't know how to help you.
But you can help us all.
Welcome to Simple Review, the series where I briefly play a game, review it, and keep it simple. In this review, I'm covering a single-player, side-scrolling adventure game called Oddworld Soulstorm. This game came out earlier this year, but this is the enhanced version, which provides a more polished product in terms of movement, audio, and gameplay mechanics. With this being a story-heavy game, you only have one game mode, and that is the story mode. Story-wise, to keep things simple, you are tasked with saving a bunch of workers who were treated very poorly. You are leading the revolution and must save all of the workers that you can. The ending will be shaped by how many workers you can save, so there are multiple endings available. When it comes to gameplay, you will be doing a ton of platforming, using items, defeating enemies, and saving workers. Platforming is pretty simple and offers your standard mechanics such as ledge grabs, double jumping, rolling, and sneaking. Along with this, you do have little challenges and collectibles to encourage exploration. Platforming can become quite challenging due to numerous hazards in your way. Hazards can be in the form of gun-wielding enemies, spikes, fire, snipers, and so on. Getting around these hazards is when your items come into play. Throughout the game, you will have access to several items, such as oil, which can spread fire, a water bottle to put out fires, trip mines to blow up enemies, and many more to keep you thinking outside the box. In addition to this, you will also be able to craft items from resources found around the levels. Defeating enemies can be a little tricky. Your character doesn't necessarily have a offensive attack, such as meleeing or a gun, so you will need to sneak by enemies, use offensive throwable items, or your mind ability to deal with them. Your mind ability is this little orb that can be used to activate certain areas on a level or be used to mind control an enemy. When mind controlling an enemy, you can use them to interact with objects, self-destruct, or to use them to shoot other enemies. Among all of this chaos, you will also be saving workers. These workers mimic your every move but can die, so you'll need to be very careful with them. Commands are available to make this easier, so if you think an area is a little unsafe, you can just tell them to stay back. Beyond just saving these workers, you will also need them for puzzles as a group effort to make progress in certain portions of a level. And that's all that this game has to offer. Now for my experience, I found this game to be decent overall. The story was pretty interesting and was presented in a way to make you feel for the mistreated workers. Platforming felt alright. I did experience some issues with ledge grabbing, and the character movement in the air was a little stiff. The platforming / puzzles changed up at a good rate with the introduction of new hazards and items, but it did get a tad bit repetitive. The only thing I could complain about is that the game did hitch up a bit when navigating levels, and the cinematics did drop some frames. I am playing this on the Xbox Series X, so this was a little unfortunate to see, especially with this being labeled as the Enhanced Edition. So with all that being said, I'd have to give this game 8 pepperonis out of 10. Oddworld Soulstorm is a decent platformer that should please those who are a fan of the series. If you are new to Oddworld, then you may find the platforming to be a little dated, so keep that in mind. And that'll do it for this review. If you found this review to be helpful, or you would like to see more game reviews, please leave a like, subscribe, and check out my channel, where I post game reviews and game guides.